I want to be as close as I can from one drum to the next drum when doing a crossover. Trying to be as efficient with my motion while not changing my technique. So I don't want to like change my wrist angle and sweep like this. I want to maintain the same motion as if I'm playing on one drum, and I just move my arm over while doing this. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. So the first drum that you're playing, you want to be as close to the rim as you can. And you're basically going to go in a straight line across the drum. So hit, hit, hit. And you're trying to have the shortest distance from here to here. And ideally hitting in this nice sweet spot on the middle drum. Okay, so we're just doing a normal. And all we're doing is moving our arm out to the side without changing the wrist angle or messing in with anything in our fingers and whatnot. My original plan was, okay, I was going to do this downstroke variation of a grid where you're playing like this, and then I was going to do the upstroke variation, etc. But I'm realizing that the hand that's underneath is moving too much. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play everything on one hand, and that hand is just going to cross over the entire time. And the hand that I'm actually focusing on is the hand that's not playing, so the one that's going to be underneath. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that I'm isolating out my limbs so that only my left arm is moving when it's doing the crossover, and it's not impacting the right arm going underneath like this. I want it to just be independent on its own. And then same thing when I do the right hand crossover, I don't want it to affect the left hand. Relax. Those notes were not written on the page, nor were they implied. Come on, Jared. So now I'm going to try doing some windmills. So you go right, left, down the drums. Then you cross over, right, left, right. And then your left hand crosses over, left. And that's the whole thing. Then you just repeat that. So right, left, crossover, left, right, crossover, right, left, crossover, left, right, cross, right, cross, cross. Now, while doing this, one of the things that I'm trying to focus on is not swinging my hips or my shoulders around while playing. If you move your shoulders, your drums are going to go with you. If you move your hips, then it's just going to like mess up some things. You put a lot of pressure on one side with the harness, assuming you're wearing one. The other thing that I'm trying to focus on is keeping it so that my wrists are staying at the same angle, so I'm not changing it so that it goes over, under like this. So I wanted to keep my wrists so that they are moving the same direction. I'm just changing the height that they are starting at, so whether they're above or below the other hand. You're going to hear rim clicks a lot when you first start working on tenors, and you're also going to drop your sticks if you have a nice relaxed technique. Yeah! Stick hum, you can hear it when it's on the floor. Okay, you could go and then do the left here and go back. You're trying to keep this hand so that it's constantly moving and it's just going up and down. And you're trying to get it out of the way of the interior notes without changing the technique or slicing like this while you're playing. You're not fighting with swords. So I am not changing my hand. I'm not like slicing like this, but instead I'm taking the same approach that I would on one drum. And I'm just moving my arm over to get that second drum. Same thing with the left hand. So while I'm here, I want to keep it all the same that I would playing it on one drum. And I'm specifically focusing on trying to keep this distance from one drum to the next drum as small as possible. Cool. So that was like right at that tipping point of like, I don't know. So let's go past that tipping point. Fail whale. Here we come. Then you'll be on all the platforms. Woo! Real slow. Ah! You know what? Honestly, it went better than I thought it would. So we need to go past that. I'm specifically focusing on trying to stay nice and relaxed for these accents. Whatever it is, the pattern is that I'm doing, and I'm having a tendency, even when I was just demonstrating that, to be a little bit too harsh. I just need to pull back. I don't need a Conan. I just gotta stay nice and relaxed and just simply transfer it over to the next drum with the least amount of distance as possible. I don't want to be like, and then all of a sudden go way over here. Just trying to do stick over stick crossover and stay nice and loose and keep the taps nice and low on the interior spaces. My arm was just like, no, please. So what started to happen there is like I got tenor accents and taps, or just like all was basically, so it wasn't very distinct. So my right hand, because this is the hand that I'm pretending is injured, I'm gonna just hold it here. So it's gonna just hang out. All the taps will be here. All the accents will be crossover here. And my goal is to not hit the stick. That's the goal, at least. I'm going to now stretch my tendons. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do both at the same time. You could do one arm at a time, but I'm going to put them on the pad and not press too hard on it because you don't want to like tear anything. Give you a nice view of the top of my head. Let's see if we can see my scar. I got, yeah, right there. See that? So when I was a kid, I went camping and this other kid took a horseshoe and threw it really high in the air. And you can see where it landed on my head. Almost died. Story time with Jared. Little slurred out. Right hand's a little high. A little late. Okay, got better until that last click.